Good morning, payload keepers. Today we're back on Prehistoric Kingdom and I'm going to be making an enclosure for the cave line. Now technically this won't be my first cave line enclosure because I did make them for the preview when they first came into the game. So technically this is my second one, and yeah, I'm going to really enjoy making this, to be honest. And the way I did it was I made it as simple as possible, so there wasn't too many components. It wasn't large, it wasn't massive. It was just like a nice sort of like medium to small kind of like vibe going on with it. And the way I did it was I made like a fancy wood standoff barrier for the guests, low enough that they can see over, and then in the back just add some like almost like a decoration, but also keep that standoff. Is also a tall wood wall, and then eventually I put a door on the building so it's like the keepers can walk all the way around the enclosure, inspect it for X, Y, and Z. And as you could just see there in the background, a Smilodon had managed to get out of its enclosure, so I put it back. The lower part of the front is going to be with glass so people can easily see the creatures inside the enclosure with no obstruction. And then at the top will be this mesh. At the back as well, I'm also going to be doing mesh from ground to top as well as part of the barrier, so it is somewhat sealed all the way through, but the keepers don't need that. Well, they don't really need that clear obstructed glass, and in technicality, if this was like a real enclosure, it would reduce cost using this mesh rather than having these reinforced panes of glass to keep them in. At the top, I just make it so then it's like a simple barrier that they can't climb over. I do use chain for this, as I feel like it looks interesting. In theory, you could say it's an electric barrier, so there's like a small current going through it. So if they did climb up and they touched it, they'd get a bit of a shock, and then they'd learn not to do it again, sort of vibe. And not the nicest ways of learning, but it's a way of learning, I suppose. Especially these prehistoric creatures, you don't want them getting out like that Smilodon was, just mooching around the enclosure. And I was just trying to like perfect the chain, make it look a lot nice, and it does add like a quite an interesting aesthetic to the enclosure, especially when you get up nice and close to it. Inside, I keep pretty simple. I use my raised cat bed for the cave lions as well. Simple water source, a small staff area where they can see on the inside enclosure, as well as being able to get from there to the outside and around the enclosure kind of thing. Thinking about it, I don't think I even added a door into the outdoor enclosure or a door to this building. I have put in workshop as well, so if you want to sort of edit it, make it, add more features to it, things like this, it's more possible. I will probably go back to it and then add a few things I think I've missed. I can't really remember till I get a bit further into this. I see if I've added them or not. It's only just dawned on me now. But yeah, see, I make it it's just nice, simple, it's easy. I wasn't going too crazy with it because I didn't want something that was just too much, as it were. I didn't have much time anyways, and I just wanted something that was fun, something that was kind of like simple and semi looked all right. So that's the kind of vibe for. I went for like the curved roof because I never do curved roofs. I always do flat roofs or I do triangle roofs. So I thought I'd do this nice little curve, and it looks kind of like a bit like a shed, almost like a cat shed. But I do end up liking the aesthetic of this building. Like I said, here's the cat beds. I use these ages ago, I think, for my first Smilodon enclosure, or second, I can't really remember, but I saved them. I use them a lot for the cats because it adds like a really nice aesthetic. I might remake them with this wood though, as obviously when I made those cat beds, it was before this wood was in the game. This is part of the is it, I can't remember the name exactly, but basically the cave sort of DLC. I say DLC, it was a free update. I don't know why I'm going with my words right now. But yeah, right now you can see in the background I'm making this like climbing frame for them. I put the food at the top so there is incentive to actually go on this. And they can see over the fencing and far beyond into different enclosures, which would be kind of interesting for them. Luckily, they would probably not jump over this because they'd see the sharp drop on the other side and know that they're not going to land anywhere nice. I try and make it look a little bit interesting by using that wood barrier all the way around top. Also, you could say I've hidden supports underneath that if you wanted to. Right now, I'm going to be adding the path and plants. I do believe at one point my recording stopped, so you don't see me finish. Yeah, there we go. You don't see me finish off all the plants, but all I do is basically use the grassland. I place loads of grass, I put dirt down to make it look like there's paths that they walk through. And yeah, for me, this is, even with them in it, is a really aesthetically pleasing enclosure just to watch the lions go and do their thing around here. And I really enjoyed this enclosure. Like, it's just nice, small. It would fit nice and tucked in somewhere, and it's just an interesting one to watch. I love this view when I was like panning across, and I could sort of clearly see through the glass what the cave lions were doing on the ground, as well as you've got that bit of a meshy view of up top. Like, I was just very happy. It's like very aesthetically pleasing to me, and yeah, I feel like I'm probably going to make a few more enclosures like this, but I might make them bigger, might make the houses a little bit more intricate, but that's something to do in the future anyways. Right now, I'm really just still going through the motion of making different enclosures for different animals I haven't made enclosures for. I know this is my second one, but I really do like these cave lions, and I just wanted to make something small and simple. But yeah, anyways, I hope this has given you a little bit of inspiration with your builds, and I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments if you'd like me to see a bigger sort of build. Until next time, I'll see you later.